The DX system has 4 auxiliary outputs on board capable of driving 100 mA at 12 volts. These are open collector outputs which switch negative with respect to 12 volts. The optional 106013 relay board plugs straight into the panel to offer relay outputs. Up to 8 programmable auxiliary outputs are available with the addition of the 106011 auxiliary output expander. This expander plugs into the auxiliary header and offers 8 additional fixed function outputs which can be set for zone status, user triggered, or AC battery fail signals. The outputs on the expander offer the same 12 volt 100 mA open collector outputs, switching negative. The 106013 relay board can be wired directly into the outputs to offer dry contact relays. Simply cut the plug off the end of the wiring harness, wire 12 volts to the relay board and connect the required auxiliary wire to the output. The system will support up to 2 output expanders which will offer 8 programmable auxiliary outputs and 24 fixed function outputs. Output expanders can be configured to operate in a number of different ways depending on the output signals required. At location P117E, options 1, 2 and 5 will set the operation of the output expanders. Simply activate the mode that will give you the required outputs. The output programming in the DX system is very extensive and flexible. It is worth spending some time discovering the possibilities of output programming. We will run through some typical setup examples. To set up an output to trigger from the auxiliary button on an RK4 remote, enable the option P122E4E. This will now set auxiliary 2 to pulse when the auxiliary button is pressed on an RK4 remote. Note that auxiliary 2 is the only output that can be programmed to operate from the blue auxiliary button. Enter the output's pulse time at location P146E. By default, the pulse time is 20 seconds. Simply enter a new time followed by E. The available time is 1 to 99 seconds. By default, the RK4 red button is programmed to trigger an audible panic. This can be reprogrammed to trigger an auxiliary output. Enter location P121E and enable 4E to allow it to pulse an output. This enables auxiliary 1 to be pulsed from the red button on an RK4. Note that enabling this option will disable all panic features for radio keys. Set the output pulse time at location P145E. To enable outputs to be triggered from the system keypad, activate the option 4E at locations P141E through to P144E for auxiliaries 1 to 4. For auxiliaries 5 through to 8, activate the option 4E from locations P151E through to P154E. Note that activating these options allows the system keypad to toggle the output. To set the output to pulse, activate option 8E in addition to 4E. This will now cause the output to pulse when operated. Set the pulse time at the below locations. Outputs can be accessed from the auxiliary control button on a navigator keypad. This will appear if any auxiliary outputs are programmed for operation from the keypad. Outputs can be labelled on navigator keypads for easy identification. Outputs can be operated from an LCD keypad by pressing the auxiliary output number twice, followed by the left panic button or star key to turn the output on, and the right panic button or hash key to turn the output off. For instance, to activate auxiliary 1, press 1 star. Area and home arm status can be programmed to toggle outputs 1 through to 4 at the following locations. This will cause the corresponding output to switch on when the system is armed and off when the system is disarmed. Any of the 8 programmable outputs can be enabled to operate from any of the 3 card readers that can be attached to the system. The 106012 reader interface is required for card readers. First, enable the output required as a reader output. This is done for outputs 1 through to 4 at locations P121E through to P124E. Activate option 8E to enable control of the output from a card reader. For auxiliary outputs 5 through to 8, the location numbers are P151E through to P154E. Activate option 7E for these outputs. Next, set which reader will trigger the auxiliary output. This is done in location P318E for reader 1 through to P338E for reader 3. Activate 1E through to 8E for the corresponding auxiliary outputs. Also note, it is possible to enable multiple outputs for a single card reader. Next, set the time the output will operate for. Location P319E for card reader 1, 329E for card reader 2, and 339E for card reader 3. The pulse time is between 1 to 24 seconds. It is possible to configure a user code to operate a card reader output. This is referred to as a request to exit code. First, set the user code to be a code-only arming code and not assigned to areas 1 or 2. This is done in the extra options of the user code location. To trigger a reader's auxiliary output, the user code must start with the reader number. For example, to trigger reader number 1's output, the code must start with the digit 1. And similarly for reader number 3, the code must start with the number 3.